Hello, everybody. I'm back again. I thought I would just make a topic about respect. This is a topic that we kind of went over in our congregation today. It was very interesting and it was very upbuilding too. It helped me to see that respect is important and it helps us to become better people. Jehovah is making us to be a loving people in a world that is full of wickedness, disrespect, values. Everything has been thrown out the window. So many disrespectful people, very rude. Um, some people are to the point of total wickedness. They don't give a darn about anything. Maybe not even themselves. This is a critical time, especially the time that we're living in. You see it all around us. All the values are thrown out the window. It's basically Jehovah's teaching us to stand out, different from the people in the world. He wants us to be better people. He wants us to be loving in a world full of wickedness. He wants us to stand out. He's teaching us to be loving people and to give that respect. Sadly, to the people that even hurt us, how do we how do we approach it? How do we, sometimes I know it's hard, especially when someone's so wicked. And the hardest part is when your own family members are trying to definitely test you to see how far they can take you. Is that respect thrown out the window? Or are you going to keep your integrity and keep that respect? Keep that love. Don't let nobody break you. Because some people will, and they will try. Oh, respect is basically a human need. We thrive when we receive it. We definitely do. When we hear somebody, I'm sorry, I still have a cold. When we see somebody giving us that respect, because there's not many people that do it, it's amazing how much respect you will get back or how much of attention they will sit there and they will listen to you. But also, it's how you come out with it in a peaceful manner, your tone, the way you're coming to a person with respect. It's all coming from the heart. So you're showing your love. You're showing that respect from your heart to them. And Jehovah teaches us that we should respect all sorts of men, which that in Proverbs 22:1 it states, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great wealth. To be respected is better than silver and gold." That is so true. Of course, like I mentioned before, sometimes we will find it, we may not find it easy to show respect for others, especially when we see their flaws, because everybody has flaws, even I do. Everybody has an imperfect flaw. We're all imperfect human beings. And we should never really look at those flaws, because if we're looking at those flaws, I have a flaw too. So it's like I'm being hypocritical. Why would I want to not respect you because of your flaws? What about my flaws? You know what I'm saying? So respect is very important. Sadly, we are living at a time when it is common for people to be disrespectful, because it is. It's all around us. It's everywhere. Jehovah is teaching us to stand out different than the people of the world. He's teaching us to be respectful in a world that is wicked. He's teaching us to be loving people. He's teaching us to better ourselves as people. And people would see that. People might not understand, but they will see that we definitely stand out with that loving heart condition, even though we are imperfect also. And here at First Peter 2:17, it states, honor men of all sorts. And it says, have love for the whole association of brothers. Be in fear of God, honor the king. So that verse right there is teaching us that we have to have respect for men of all sorts. It's showing us to respect others and how we can show it to family members, fellow worshipers, and those outside the congregation, anybody in the world. Okay. Okay. Respect is like how we treat a person. When we honor others, we treat them in a way that makes them feel valued, appreciated, and dignified. And for honor to be genuine, it has to come from the heart. It has to come from here, the heart. Because that tells a lot. It says at 15a, it says, this people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far removed from me. Basically, Jehovah's teaching us that respect has to be genuine. It has to come from the heart. Because if it's not coming from the heart, it's not genuine. And just like he said, this people honor me with their lips. Anybody can say anything with their lips, but their hearts are removed from me. That means it's not coming from here. It's not coming from your heart. So it has to come from your heart for it to be genuine. That respect. And people value that because you don't find it that much anymore. And when it comes to authorities, we have to respect the authorities. Like because because Jehovah did put the authorities in their place. So we have to respect the authorities. Now if it goes against God's law, then we have to say we go we serve Jehovah. We serve God rather than man. But in any other aspect, we are to respect authority. And of course, some people may say, I am happy to show people respect as long as they have earned it. Of course, as a servant of Jehovah, we realize that any respect we have for humans are not based solely on their actions. It's based on something deeper, our love for Jehovah and our desire to please Him. And that's exactly what we want to do. Okay. And also some wonder, is it possible to show respect for someone who does not treat you with respect? It's a good question. Yes, especially if you have it on your heart to do it. And these are like Bible examples that they did it. So if they could do it as imperfect human beings, so can we. It's not easy, but that's where Jehovah's trying to install in us, trying to make us better people, loving people in a world that is definitely wicked. Okay, here it says, this is an example. This says King Saul humiliated his son Jonathan in front of others, but still Jonathan respectfully supported his father in battle until the day Saul died. And oh my God, there's a whole verse here, all the way from 1 Samuel 20, 30 to 34. And it shows everything that, because it says, then Saul became enraged with Jonathan, and he said to him, you son of a rebellious woman, do you think I do not know that you are choosing to side with the son of Jesse, to your own shame and to the shame of your mother? As long as the son of Jesse is alive on the earth, you and your kingship will not be firmly established. So now send someone to bring him to me, for 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 he must die. However, Jonathan said to Saul, his father, why should he be put to death? What has he done? At that, Saul hurled a spear at him to strike him. So Jonathan knew that his father was determined to put David to death. Jonathan immediately rose up from the table in a heat of anger, and he did not eat any food on that second day after the new moon, for he was upset over David and his own father had humiliated him. This had to be hard for this had to be hard for Jonathan, because he definitely respected David. At the same time, he tried to respect his father. But of course, he knew that Jehovah was eventually going to make David king. And he supported that. He was okay with it, that he wasn't going to be the next person. It didn't bother him. In fact, David and him were best friends. It's like he was supporting both, being respectful to both, but him stuck between, not knowing what to do, but only trying to do the right thing for both. Like it said, Jonathan supported his father until his death, in like when it came to war and stuff. But when it came to David, he protected him from his father because he also supported him. He stayed he stayed loving and respectful to both. It had to be hard. It felt I'm sure he felt torn in two directions. But he learned something from that. That he wasn't going to be broken. That he loved both. And he was going to support both. And he was going to respect both. So he definitely encourages me. And there's Hannah, where the high priest Eli accused Hannah of being drunk, which she wasn't. Of course, back then, they were able to have more than one wife. Um, and she was in one of those kind of marriages, but she could never give birth to a child. And the woman that he cared for, Hannah, more than his other wife. And his other wife was able to give him babies like crazy, but Hannah couldn't. And she was heartbroken. So she cried, praying with all her might to give her a son, give her a child. Eventually, she got that child. And then she had another one after that. It took her a while to do that, but with the prayer of Jehovah, yep, it was See, and this is at the verse where it says, while she prayed for a long time before Jehovah, Eli was watching her mouth. Hannah was speaking in her heart. Only her lips were trembling, but her voice was not hard. But her voice was not heard. Sorry. So Eli thought she was drunk. Eli said to her, how long will you stay drunk? Stop drinking your wine. So basically, Eli thought she was drunk. She wasn't. And this is where it says, nevertheless, Hannah spoke respectfully to Eli, even though his failures, both as a father and as a high priest, were widely known in Israel. She still respected him, even after thinking she's drunk. She respectfully spoke to him in a respectful manner and letting him know that she wasn't drunk. And then Paul, Athens insulted the Apostle Paul, called him a chatterer. Chatterer. And this is Acts 17:18. But some of both of okay, that's hard. Okay, okay, the philosophers began to dis, disputing with him, and some were saying, what is it this chatterer would like to tell? Others, he seems to be a proclaimer of foreign deities. This was because he was declaring the good news of Jesus and the resurrection. Despite this, Paul spoke respectfully to them. It should be evident that deep love for Jehovah and a healthy fear of displeasing him can move us to show respect for others, not only when it is easy, but also when it is difficult. That is so true. And it says right here, Paul now stood in the midst of the Areopagus, something like I'm not even gonna say that word, and said, "Men of Athens, I see that in all things you seem to be more given to the fear of the deities than others are." See, he's like proclaiming, the good news of the resurrection and all that kind of stuff, and he's saying that these guys are more scared of their deities than anything else. But he said it in a respectful way. Oh my god, my nose is tingling. Like family members. Of course, family members, our most closest people to us, our children, our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, even our own children. They know how we are. They know our weaknesses, they know our strengths. They know how to get underneath our skin when they want to really trigger the buttons, they know how to get underneath our skins. They know our weakness, how to work it. And And other people might have difficulties because they require more attention because maybe they have an illness or a disorder or some sort, and it makes it harder for us to provide that care or give that care attention or and others may even speak and act in a way that hurts us. And yes, and instead of making a home a place of peace, love, security, you know, they're making it a place that lacks respect. They're making it into a house that's dysfunctional and making it harder to give that respect. But we can still respect them regardless. If they, I guess, if they choose to, they want us around less, that's fine. But if I could check on you, just take a peek on you here and there to make sure you're okay, that's fine. Sometimes we have to respect that. It's just because we care. We want to care for you. But of course, some of our family members, especially the ones that are disabled, that have issues, we just want to make sure they're okay. We want to provide that care, but some are that hard up that they refuse that care. So we just say, hey, we're just gonna check in on you. That's it. It's fine. So we're giving them that respect, but we're still caring for them in a way that's not gonna feel like we're disrespecting them. I know it's difficult to say, but difficult to do because we want to, especially our parents when they're old and, we want to make sure they're okay. Why show respect? Basically, the number one thing, it's important to people within our household. We should honor those in our household in a way that we should not out of mere duty, but out of godly devotion. Basically, when we are honoring our family members, we're honoring Jehovah, the originator of families. He's the one that made the family arrangement. He's the one that established it. So it's important to think about our families, respect our families. It's important because when we are respecting our families and we're respecting that arrangement, we're loving our families the way that Jehovah put that arrangement. We make Jehovah happy. We do. And it says, a husband who honors his wife shows both in private and in public that she is precious to him. It says, her children rise up and declare her happy. Her husband rise up and praises her. You husbands, in the same way, continue dwelling with them according to knowledge. Assign them honor as to a weaker vessel, the feminine one, since they are also heirs with you of the undeserved favor of life, in order for your prayers not to be hindered. This is a man that would never strike his woman, humiliate her, make her feel worthless. Usually our husband would love his wife, respect her in all things. He would not, like in some countries, men of course, even in the Bible days, men are head of household. Yes, head of the household. But women are important too. Well, at least to Jehovah in that sense. But in some countries, women are very much disrespected. If a woman doesn't do a certain thing that the man wants her to do, he beats her. Um, he disrespects her. Some people even commit adultery behind their wives' backs like crazy. They do so many things, which is very much against the laws of God. But you're supposed to love your wife, love her, respect her. And not just women. Women also have their faults. Sometimes women can say things that are hurtful, very mean. Um, it works both ways. But a woman has to also respect her husband. It's very important to respect your husband. Because when you respect your husband, you're pleasing Jehovah. And it makes you feel good too when you're respecting your husband. I mean, how can someone live in a house always arguing, always putting each other down? Eventually, it's like the love goes, the respect goes, and that's where all the infidelities and everything starts to happen. That's not good. And they start thinking, what did I do? What did I get myself into? But when you marry somebody, you shouldn't even be thinking that way. You should be thinking, I made the right choice. This is my wife for life, or this is my husband for life. Now I have to learn to work with them. I have to learn to deal with them. I have to respect them. And when we communicate, it should be in a meaningful way, not always yelling and screaming and cursing each other out. You get nowhere that way. Nowhere at all. You'll come out with it in a good tone, with good words, but still getting a point across. in a respectful way instead of a demeaning way. You don't want it that way. And children in God's arrangement, in Jehovah's arrangement, are supposed to obey the family rules that your parents set for you. Basically, in Ephesians 6:1-3, it states, children, be obedient to your parents in union with the Lord, for this is righteous. Honor your father and your mother in the first command with a promise that it may go well with you and you will remain long time on the earth. So basically, speaking respectfully to your parents is very important because today I've seen it for myself. I see there was a family upstairs that used to live from me. I think they moved out, but the mom would curse and scream at the daughter, and the daughter would curse and scream back at the mom. And I was like, wow. Whew. I've seen kids walking in stores calling their mother the B word, the F word, all sorts of things. And I really wanted to do something about it, but I had to just keep myself from saying whatever. You know, it's not easy when you see that. It's because they were raised that way. They say the first education is at home. And if the parents are screaming and cursing, even if just one parent is doing it and the other isn't, that kid is still learning that. So, and I see a lot of that. I mean, yes, there are some things like maybe you came from a broken home and your mother was an alcoholic and your father was up and about committing adultery left and right. We know. I remember this. I remember as a child, I was angry because I knew the truth. But never did I call my parents bad names, not like they do today. Never did I call them bad names, disrespecting them in that way. But yes, I was angry. I was an angry little girl. It took me a long time to forgive my parents. I think sometimes I'm still trying to forgive them. Something I need to work on, and the trust when you come from a family like that, sometimes the trust is hard to trust, but I still showed them respect regardless. I did. So, but all we can do as children is to eventually, when we get older, choose what path we want to go on, the right path or the crooked path to life. Or do you want to go to the right path, the straight path that goes on into life, or the crooked path and the spacious that goes off into destruction? That's the path some of us choose. Some of us want to choose the right one. And when it comes to our brothers and sisters in the congregation, to be honest, we do find some may treat us unkindly, judge us unfairly, and irritate us, even as worshipers of Jehovah, because we're all imperfect. Sorry. We're all imperfect human beings. And we find that even within the congregation. When we see that, I think we need to really look at ourselves. And we might have to apologize and realize where we went wrong. And find ways to maybe mend things so we could gain that respect, or we could gain that respect back. Sometimes we might need help in doing that. You know, because like I said, we're all imperfect human beings. We are. People in the congregation, people in the world, we're all imperfect human beings. And we all have our flaws. We all have our imperfections. And we have to work at that. We have to work to make ourselves better people, more loving people in a world that is full of wickedness. I mean, do you want to be that person, like the people in the world that are wicked, um, basically going off into destruction? Your life is eventually not going to work for you very well. What I mean by that is some people lose their families because of different reasons. They're committing adultery, fornication, infidelities like crazy. Some are just cursing and slurring up a storm. Some people are so angry, all they want to do is fight. Is that the kind of life you want to live? Or do you want a peaceful life? A life with less headaches? A life with joy and happiness? Where you're not losing your family? Where you're trying to make a family work and make it a happy family? Leading on that straight, small path into everlasting life. It's very small, and only a few are finding it. Unlike in our congregation, we have uh, we have elders there to help us when we need counsel, we need help. They're there to help us. And that's the respect that the elders have a lot of responsibilities, and they're willing to still spend that little time with us to help us through things. And sometimes, as imperfect human beings, sometimes we might find it difficult to respect an elder who gave advice, is, to be honest, is because we didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to hear that counsel, but it was the true counsel. It was the truth. And sometimes the truth, we don't want to recognize it as imperfect human beings. And sometimes we have to really, 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 um, really think about things and really look back, even if it means going through scripture, really recognizing within ourselves the imperfection, what we did, what we're doing, where we're going wrong. And then suddenly we realize, oh my gosh, what did I do? They give me some good counsel and I just don't want to recognize it. And that's why we have to peacefully go back. And we might have to say, I'm sorry. It was basically their pride. But when you really look back, you realize it was my pride getting in the way. And that counsel was good counsel. I just didn't want to recognize it. So when it comes to that, sometimes we might have to say, go back and say, I'm sorry in a peaceful way and show that respect that maybe you were wrong and, and you corrected it. Now, the challenge is, well, when we go into the ministry, there are people that might have no love for Bible truth, and some choose to remain ignorant, like they're just accepting whatever a priest or a pastor or whatever says, and not really digging for that truth themselves, not realizing what does this really mean, not really digging fully. They're just trusting what a preacher or somebody's saying instead of really looking into the scriptures fully. And then sometimes we may have to contend with employers or school teachers who are hard to please and coworkers uh, hard to deal with. And over time, our respect for such ones could decrease, and we may fail to treat them as we would like to be treated. And that is fact sometimes because we're imperfect, and sometimes, we try our best to respect, but sometimes people just go way too far with all that stuff. They try to find ways to make our work hours longer or try to mess with our schedules so now we can't even make a meeting, but maybe we can go on Zoom, but it's not the same. But at least, we're trying. But yes, that is true. To be honest, Jehovah knows. Jehovah remembers and pays attention to how we treat unbelievers. It says the Apostle Peter reminded Christians that their fine conduct might move some to glorify God. For that reason, he admonished them to make a defense of their faith with a mild temper and deep respect. So it was very important, even in the days of the apostles, and even today, that we are to do the same thing. We are to, like when we go to the ministry, we are to be mild tempered, and have deep respect, even for that non-believer. You know, to respect them, we're supposed to still have love. And it says, whether standing trial for their faith or defending their belief while in conversation with a neighbor, Christians were to treat unbelievers just as they would if they were in the presence of God. Basically, Jehovah watches and listens to what we say and how we say it. Jehovah sees everything. Believe me, thousands of years since the world was created, all the way down to our day, each generation, Jehovah has seen everyone. Under the sun, he has seen everybody throughout every generation, known everything that's in their heart, everything that they say, everything that they do. You can't keep nothing from you can't keep nothing from God. He sees everything. So, and this is the reason to treat those outside the congregation with respect, not just within the congregation, but people outside of the congregation. That means people in our community that we go out to in the ministry, Or even people we go to the grocery store, we respect them. We go to maybe the movies, you know, we respect the people, we respect if we're on trial for our faith, anything. We keep that respect. Okay, how to show respect. Like I was talking about the ministry, we never want to give impressions that we look down on those who have little or no Bible knowledge. Instead, we want to consider others as both precious to God and superior to us, just like they did in the days of the apostles, the same way. And if someone insults you for our belief, for our faith, resist the urge to retaliate, such as by using witty but sarcastic speech. If you do say something you regret, apologize immediately. Exactly. That's what I was talking about earlier. If we know some words that we said was wrong, and then we think about it after, we have to go to that person. We have to apologize because then we feel better about it. And at the same time, we're pleasing our Father above. We're pleasing Jehovah. We're pleasing God. And just like when you are an honest, diligent, and whole-souled worker, you may or you may not always please men, but you will definitely please God. You definitely will. And right here, what good reason we have to cultivate and show respect for others. It's important to always show respect for your family, regardless, and honor our family head, Jehovah, and Jehovah. And likewise, when we show respect for our spiritual brothers and sisters, we honor our Heavenly Father. And when we show respect for those outside the congregation, we create the best possible circumstances for them to glorify or honor our great God. Even if we never receive respect in return from some humans, it, it will be worthwhile to cultivate and show respect for them. Why? Because Jehovah will bless us. He promises those honoring me, I will honor. And that is in Samuel 2:30. It says, that is why the word of Jehovah, the God of Israel, is, I did indeed say that your house and the house of your forefathers would always walk before me. But now Jehovah declares, it is unthinkable on my part, because those honoring me will be honored, will I will honor, but those despising me will be treated with contempt. See? So, as I learned today, Jehovah is definitely teaching us to be loving people, um, teaching us to stand out in a world that is full of wickedness, teaching us to be loving people, better people within ourselves. And when Jehovah sees that, he remembers. He sees everything, even the secret things that no one else knows. He knows. He sees our faults. He sees our imperfections. He sees the good things we've done in our life. He's seen the wicked things we've done in our lives. Bad, the good. Jehovah sees our corrections. He sees that we are imperfect human beings. But he knows, even though we are imperfect, we can follow his standards. We can follow his principles. Even though we're tempted, we have to fight that. We have to resist it. And when we have a wife or we have a husband, we're to respect them. In the community, when we're in the ministry, we respect those. Uh, when we're out just in the community, just going to a store, going anywhere, we have to respect. Keep it heartfelt. I know when someone is wicked and they can say some awful things. Sometimes you want to say something, you really want to say something that's, you want to come back with something, but then you realize, oh, Jehovah's listening to everything and sees everything that I do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something better. Sometimes we might have to just walk away for a moment, but eventually we're going to have to apologize. And the best apology is immediately. It's best to apologize immediately that maybe we made a mistake and I'm so sorry. Maybe the words that I came out with was not appropriate and I could have said better words. I am so sorry for my fault. My faults, you know. And if we need help, sometimes we have in our congregation we have elders that we could go to help us. He talk to us through things. And I have a lot of responsibility in itself. And we are to respect our families. We are to respect even our coworkers, our head honcho. But when it comes down to it, Jehovah is teaching us to stand out. He's teaching us to be loving people. He's teaching us to better ourselves as human beings in a world that is full of wickedness. Oh, it's our choice which way we're going to go. Are we going to go on the road, the small, cramped road, the straight path to life? Or are we going on the spacious, crooked path to destruction? That's our choice. Which way you go, It's all up to you. Oh, thank you for watching my video. I hope maybe you got something out of this. It was very encouraging to me today. So I thought I would just go over some things that really, I don't know, it really taught me that that is what Jehovah's teaching us to do, is to become more loving, more kind, heartfelt. He's teaching us to be loving people and to stand out. Oh, thank you for watching my video. If you got anything, I hope you got something out of this video because it encouraged me, so I thought I would share it with you. So right now, I am gonna go for the night, unless I decide to make another video. I'm not sure about today. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. But adios for now. Adios. Adios. Bye. Bye.